Hey guys, Blair with Revit Auto, and in this video on Tool Tuesday, we're going to be reviewing the TPMS TS608 from Autel Scan Tools. We're not going to be using this today to program any TPMS sensors. We're actually going to use it to diagnose the AC system on this Audi Q5. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the scan tool and remove the OBD2 connector right here and just plug it into the car. And with that plugged in, I'll go ahead and scan all the modules on this Audi. So the Maxi TPMS TS608 is a pretty capable scan tool that has the ability to do TPMS and diagnostics. So since this car, we're just doing the diagnostics, I'll just go ahead and click VIN, auto detect, and the key is in the accessory run position. This is an Audi, and it'll go ahead, pull the VIN, which we know is correct. We'll click OK. And then I'm just going to go ahead and let the car go through its whole system. And this is newer than 2009. So this is a 2012. It's an SUV. And it's got the 2-liter turbo, which is going to be, I believe, this one. And we'll go ahead and just let it scan through. So this takes just a little bit of time. There's a lot of control modules on these newer European cars. So you see here we have two faults with the AC system, so I'm going to go ahead and click pause. And I'm going to go into the AC unit and click OK. Now if I wanted to do just a quick read, I could have clicked report earlier, but I want to go into the module and look at the trouble codes. So you can see here we have 00256. This is a very, very common code for these vehicles. AC pressure temperature sensor G395 implausible signal. So this tells us that the AC pressure switch has failed and we're going to go ahead and replace it. So we'll start the vehicle up, and with the engine running we have the AC set on low and low, and we set it to auto, and the air is blowing out pretty warm. So we know what's happening is that the AC system is not working. To get to that sensor on this Audi, you're going to have to go ahead and remove this panel clip, which is held in with just a few clips here. This one's already broken, done by moi, and this one are already missing. So we'll go ahead with our little panel clip removal tool, get underneath it, and gently pry it up so we don't break them. And then once we have it out, we can go ahead and just press the tabs up like so. So when we reinstall them, we can go ahead and put them back in. So I'm just going to put those over here and just lift this up. And it's got a couple clips here and a couple of clips here. So you just lift this thing straight up, move it out of the way, and now you can get to the sensor, which is located right here in front of the condenser. So now we're going to go ahead and remove this pigtail harness here. And what I'll do is just unclip this little piece here, which is inside one of the radiators. And then that'll allow me to gain access to this clip harness right here. And what I do to remove a clip is I just press down, and pressing down allows for the tab to be depressed. And then once I depress the tab, I can pull it up. I'm going to get a little flathead screwdriver to help me out. You can keep it cool. You know, press the connector in, and then I'll press the tab down. And with the tab pressed down, I'll lift up and remove the connector. So what I was pushing on was just this little clip right here, and I pulled up. So now that we have this out, before we remove it, we'll just make sure that the new sensor that we picked up from Audi is going to be the same as the old sensor. It's a 3-pin. It's got a flat shape on one side and a round shape on the other, and it will clip in. So we know that we've got the right sensor, and we're going to go ahead and install this. Now when you're working on an Audi, especially on a sensor like this, you want to make sure that you get the actual Audi type. There is another sensor that you can get like this, but it doesn't show up as a waveform, as a square waveform, which this sensor will. So you want to make sure that you're using the right sensor. So now I'm going to go ahead and get a wrench on this thing and pull it out. It uses a 24mm socket, and it is designed to be removed with the socket. As you can see here, it comes off just like so. Now there is a little valve in there. you can see that presses down on the valve. So when I remove this sensor, it's not going to discharge all of the AC system. So I'm going to go ahead and use my extension with my 24mm socket to get firmly seated on here. This is a deep socket, which gives me good contact with all the threads. Now a little tiny bit of freon is going to come out, but not enough to hurt the ozone. And these are put in with very, very little torque. It's almost hand tight. If you over tighten this, you will have an awful day. So the sensor's now off. I'll just go ahead and pull it out, and you can see here that I was able to easily remove the sensor. And like I said, this is a very lightweight piece of aluminum on a very small lightweight piece of aluminum. I mean, this is taking like maybe 9 foot-pounds of torque, like super little. Now there's also an O-ring down here at the bottom of this little valve. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this O-ring off. You can use a pick tool or your fingers. Can you show that O-ring there? All right, you ready? So now what I'm going to do is go in here with my dentist tool, and if you are, building your tool nest, get yourself some dentist cleaning tools, because they make the best pick tools in the world. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up with a little rag, and then I'm going to put my new O-ring and my new sensor on. So you want to avoid having any leaks in your AC system by making sure that you have a really clean surface to put your new O-ring onto. Now I've got just my little sandwich baggie here, which has my Audi bag in here. I'll go ahead and grab this baby, and I'll put it on. Now you don't want to put any grease or lubrication or anything like that on this O-ring. You want to keep it as clean as possible and just put it on. So I'll just literally slip it on, put it down into its little hole. It sits flush just there in its little area. And now I'm going to grab my new sensor, and I'll remove the cap. Now you don't want to move it until you're ready to install, and you'll go ahead and hand put it on, making sure that you don't strip the threads. Now remember, this is aluminum on aluminum. This is super easy to damage. I cannot stress this enough. This is going to take such little torque. You're going to think to yourself, how could this possibly be on tight? I promise you it is on tight. So now I'm going to go ahead and just get it as tight as I can by hand, and then I'm going to go just a tiny bit tighter once I get it on. All right, so that is now snug, and literally I'm just going to go about a 1/16 more snug. And that's it. That's all the tightness that I gave it. I mean, it's literally so loose, you're going to think, Blair, how could it possibly be that loose? It's going to leak. It's not going to leak. So that's as tight as you have it snugged down. And I'll go ahead and reattach my sensor, right? My sensor's now on. And then I'm going to go clip back on the little keepers for the wiring harness right here. Before I put this panel back on, I'm going to clean my work area. I'm going to start the vehicle, make sure that I'm now getting cool air out of the air conditioning and that the code that I have is gone. So let's go back in the vehicle and test it out. Sorry about the beeping of the car. 00256 and 0457. These are those two codes that refer to that one sensor. I'm going to go ahead and clear. The ignition is on, the engine is off. I'm going to clear the codes. No fault codes detected. So we'll go ahead and just rescan it. No fault codes detected. Fantastic. I'm going to start the vehicle. Vehicle is started, and now I'm going to turn the AC back on, have it on low, and see what happens with the air conditioning. Does it actually get cooler now that the system is running through? And immediately I can feel some nice cool air coming through. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go right back into the AC, let it continue finishing its scan. Rescan the AC. Trouble codes, no fault codes have been detected. So we know that the AC is working. I'm going to go ahead and let the vehicle run for a little bit, So now before we put the panel back on, I'm just going to use my little tester here to determine if there's any freon. And I have it right around the nozzle, and I have the sensitivity very high, and we don't have any leaks. So the AC's been blowing cold for about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put this upper panel back on, and we'll go ahead and complete this repair. Alrighty, so you'll see here that these grooves fit into the top just like so. So we'll just go ahead and give them a light tapping. And then we'll take our 2 clips that remain and install the clips. We just pull the top of the clip out and press it in. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And the last one, I'll put in right here. And with all that in, we'll go ahead, double check everything, make sure we have no tools or any material left underneath the hood of the vehicle. And we'll go ahead and shut the hood. And the last step will be to rescan the AC system one more time to make sure that we don't have any codes. So I'm going to go into the AC system just one more time. Click on trouble codes. No fault codes have been detected, and the AC is still blowing nice and cold. So we're going to go ahead and consider this repair complete. And I'll go ahead and just turn off the air conditioning and turn off the vehicle. And because it's COVID, we'll go ahead and wipe all the surfaces down.